Hey guys, welcome back to Simply Homemade and Homegrown. I wanted to talk in this video about the seeds that I will be starting for a fall harvest. Most of these do come from Johnny's. I think they have the best information on growing seeds on their packets. Now, they don't have pictures like a lot of companies do, but they do provide, I think, the most detailed information on growing their seeds. And then the other company that I will be using more this fall is Burpee. And then I also got seed tape, so I'll go into that in a few minutes. Excuse me. So the first I am going to start are onions. Now, I usually buy the little miniature tiny onions at the garden center in the fall, and I plant those and then harvest them in the spring. But those are second year onions. So those onions tend to bolt and produce flowers more easily than if you grow them from seed. And I usually get a good harvest from them, but over the years, because it's been so warm, they've bloomed a lot earlier and I get much smaller bulbs, if any at all. So this year I'm going to try growing them from seed. So I'll have first year onions. I'm going to try a group in the fall and see how that does. And then I'm going to do another succession planting in the spring, because all of these are anywhere from 106 to 109 days to 110 if you plant them in the spring. And they're 290 if you overwinter them. So you start growing them, put them in the ground, and then let them sit all winter. So I wanted to see how they do both ways, growing from seed. So the first one is, it's a yellow onion, it's a candy onion. So I really want to try that. I've heard really good things about candied onions. Normally I grow a white, a yellow, and a red, just to have that variety in the kitchen. And then the other one is, it's a white onion. And then of course my red onion. So I'm really excited to experiment with these and see how they do. Then I will be growing two types of lettuces, and I'm not going to even attempt to try to pronounce them. We'll just pop them up on the screen. And both of these are roughly 55 days, so I should have a harvest this fall, and maybe there's 250 seeds per packet, so I should be able to have succession planting. So we will see how that goes. I've done lettuce and kale before, and one batch I did completely in the kitchen. I did them in the grow trays, and I had fresh greens throughout the winter. Then this early winter, late winter, I did them outside, and I was able to harvest off of them until we really started getting warmth, and then they got aphids. So I had to pull all of that. So now that we have got the chickens, those won't be going in the trash. I will feed those directly to the chickens. I don't use pesticides. Everything I use is organic, so it should be fine for the chickens. Then I'm doing two types of spinach. I'm doing a smooth leaf spinach, which is 24 days, and I usually harvest my spinach young, so I like the smaller leaves. And then I'm also doing a spinach from Burpee. It's a Bloomsdale long standing, and it's on seed tape. And if you never use seed tape, it makes harvest or planting really easy, because they are already spaced out, if you can see that. So you just plant, so you just make your rows in your soil, you lay the seed tape down, and it prevents you, or it helps to prevent the need to thin later on. So those are the 2 spinaches I will be doing. Then I will be doing a cabbage, a green cabbage this year. And it's a 95-day. And cabbages, I have a horrible time in the past. I buy the plants from the garden center, I put them in the ground in the spring, and then within a month or so, they're infested with cabbage worms. And I never really get the cabbage. So I'm going to try it this fall. And again, this spring again, I'm going to keep trying. If they get cabbage worms, I'm not going to worry too bad about it because I'll just cut them off and give them to the chickens and let the chickens eat them since I don't use pesticides. Then, one thing I always grow, I'm not a huge fan of radishes, but my son is. And they're so easy to grow. They have a quick turnaround harvest. The Easter eggs radishes I grew last year. And there's actually a video of the kids doing a taste test between all of the different colors. And that's a 30-day turnaround. So you put it in the soil, 30 days later, you should be able to harvest. Then I have a longer version. These are black radishes. And these are 50-day. So not too much longer, but still a pretty good turnaround. And then the other one is a cherry bell radish that is on C-tape. So I want to try those 3. And I believe this one is a 22-day harvest. So this pops up really quick. And it does have an August to November planting or sowing time. So you can get a lot. You can do succession planting with these really easily. So I would sow them. And then 2 weeks later, sow some more, 2 weeks later, sow some more, and keep doing that all fall. And you're going to have a harvest of radishes like crazy. Then I'm doing an ornamental kale. I usually buy ornamental kales for my containers for winter decor outside. And I had really good success this last year buying them. And I even harvested the bloom stalks when it started to bolt. And I used those in flower arrangements and they were really pretty. So I'm going to try growing my own. This is a pink hybrid ornamental kale. So you wouldn't eat it. It's just, you grow them for the looks. So I'm excited about that. Then I've got beets, and I always do beets. I like to harvest the beets and cut them up and roast them with potatoes and carrots and onions, and that's like a good fall type of root vegetable. And these are 50 days. I've grown longer ones before in the fall and then harvest them in the spring after the soil warms up. But with this being such a short turnaround, I'm gonna try them this fall and see how they do. Now with all of the root vegetables, the onions, well, not so much the onions because you can plant those after you've got the starts. But beets and carrots don't like their roots disturbed. So wherever you sow them, that's where they need to stay. So those are the beets that I'm doing. And then last, I am doing carrots. I always do carrots. It's so fun just, you know, for dinner, going out and pulling carrots and cutting them up. You don't have to cure them. You don't have to let them sit like you do onions and garlic. So I think this will be fun. And there's, on this one from Johnny's, it's a hybrid early carrot. And you can harvest them as babies at 36 days. So they're the tiny ones. Or you can let them grow for 54 days. So again, it's a quick turnaround, really good for succession planting. And then again, these are half long carrots from Burpee on the C-tape. So, and these have a 65 to 70, so these are longer. So you can plant these each one time and you'll have a 30-day harvest, a 54-day harvest, and then a 65 to 70. So that would give you several weeks worth of harvesting fresh carrots without having to do them again. So I'm excited. I'm really I'm over summer heat. Being in the South, we've had 90 degrees, humidity in the 80 to 90%. So it's hard to be out in the garden at this time of the year. The plants are struggling. They're not producing as quickly, as fast until we have cold waves down into the 80s. And then I'll get a boom of crop. But it's that time of the year. You got to start plotting and planning and figuring out. And August, September is the time where you start your cool crop seeds. You have the heat, you can do them outside. I will be starting a couple of these here shortly in trays. And instead of doing them inside under grow lights with heat mats, I'm gonna do them outside. I'm just gonna set the trays up, have them outside. It also helps with not having to harden off your plants, which saves time also. And then I'll be able to continue to feed my family. So thanks for watching, and I will see you again next time.